Alright, hello. Welcome everybody to my channel, Drunk Crafts with Paige. I'm Paige, and I actually don't have an alcoholic beverage with me today. I have run out of alcohol, and in the practice of social distancing, I haven't been to the store to get more yet. But we're doing a craft anyway, so that's cool. This particular craft is inspired by Crafty Jenn. She is a YouTuber and an artist that also does pours, and if you have not seen any of her these particular pours yet, she does goddess profile swipes. She has this gorgeous outline silhouette of a woman's face, and then she swipes kind of a like a plain color like black or white, but she swipes that over top of different colors, and they're just gorgeous. I would highly recommend looking at her YouTube channel if you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you are interested in seeing how my version of that turns out, then please stick around. So, like I mentioned, this piece is from the influence of Crafty Jenn, and she has available on her website a downloadable version of this silhouette. So here is mine. It's just kind of a woman's face. It is not my face. It has a much better profile than mine is. But I believe she also does have already like Cricut cut versions of this. I'm not sure what sizes she has available, but then you don't have to do the whole cutting out and tracing on your own. I guess that's the nice thing about having a Cricut, but I don't have one of those. So I printed out, using her PDF, I printed out this version to the size of my canvas, and I traced it and cut it out of contact paper. This is just clear contact paper. We'll see how it works out. Since it's clear, hopefully I'll be able to find it again. But there are, there's different colors available. So if you want more, one that's a little bit more obvious, you can always choose that. But here is, you can kind of see her. There she is. Here is my profile. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with how her goddess swipes work, I will demonstrate using my face. But pretty much we're going to be using or keeping the front part of it blank for right now. We're going to stick down the profile portion, and then when I pour the paint down, it'll have a color for the head, and then I'll kind of sweep it over top of some colors. So the colors that I have chosen, I've actually been thinking about doing this kind of painting for a long time, and I had no idea what kind of colors I wanted to use. But then when I did those constellation coasters a few weeks ago, I fell in love with the Sargent Art liquid metals acrylic paint. I did that tiny itty bitty canvas because I had leftover paint, and did a Dutch pour over top, and they look so cool. I just love what these metallics ended up looking like, and so I decided these were what I needed to do for this goddess swipe. So I've got purple, I've got a reddish color, I've got a green aqua, and a very deep blue. And so those are going to be the colors we use. I think I'm also going to be doing black. But first, our first step is going to be sticking down the contact paper where I want it on this canvas. I got the contact paper down, and let me tell you, it was a bitch. I guess this is why I do it, so I can troubleshoot everything and you guys can do it correctly. Pretty much, let's see, the contact paper that I bought was just regular, clear, transparent contact paper. I would recommend not getting this. Get thicker contact paper, or a contact paper that is specifically meant for canvases, because this contact paper did not want to stick at all. It stuck fine to my hands, it stuck fine to the tablecloth, would not stick to the canvas. What I did, which is actually another tip from Crafty Jenn's videos, I was able to get just the edge, which is I guess the important part, able to get the edge of the profile stuck down, and then I took a thin layer of Mod Podge, or some kind of glue, to the canvas, and I put a very thin layer and just brushed it on the edge. You don't want to go too far in, because when you peel this off, you don't want it to rip your paint, and you also don't want to go too far in, because you still want to be able to pull this off when you're done. So I only put a very thin layer of the Mod Podge on, just around the edge, because that was all I could get to stick. You can see all the ripples, pretty much of the rest of the contact paper. So I guess it kind of helps you guys be able to see where the silhouette is a little bit better. But like I said, my recommendation would be to get better contact paper, to get something that works for canvases, is meant to be for canvases, is something a little heavier dutier, more heavy duty. Like I said, Crafty Jenn uses adhesive or vinyl that she cuts on her Cricut, so maybe get some of that. I have prepared all of the paint already. I did not, however, put silicone in yet. And a little extra, just because it kind of worked for the kitchen utensils, the wooden kitchen utensils I did. I added a little bit of glow pigment to all of these colors. I think green has green, blue has blue, the red actually has orange in it, and the purple actually has the red color in it. I did not have a purple glow-in-the-dark color, and so to kind of counteract, I put orange in red in purple. So I do not know if that will work, if any of the glow will actually show up once it's been sitting in light, but it worked a little bit for the resin handled utensils. So I wanted to give it a shot. Why not? We tried it in resin, we'll try it in paint. So my first step, or well, I guess we're past first steps now, but what I still need to do is add silicone to all of my colors. I will not put it in the black, because that is the color we're going to be pulling over top. The black, like I said, is going to be where the face is. I'm going to do a little bit right around her frame. We're going to be pulling this black over top, so I'm not worried about it covering everything right now. And then we've got our colors. So purple. This is all gonna just be messy. We got blue. And I hope this is enough. I made a decent amount of all these colors. There's red. Use the green to kind of fill in some gaps. Okay, and we are going to be using, I've got some paper towel, and I'm going to I've just got a little like mister bottle, and I'm going to spray it so it's damp. We're going to try to do this. So I'm going to line it up with my black, just kind of let the ends of it rest, and then I'm going to carefully pull it all over. Am I at the end yet? There. Okay. Still have some spots of white. I used up like a lot of my colors. Try to get in worst case scenario, I can like use my fingers and kind of like this will touch around. Okay. So I think I'm going to do another one. Pull some more of that black. Some of it over top, just a little more. And I'm actually going to kind of wave it, make it appear more like hair. Woo! Well, that was dumb of me. I brought several pieces of paper towel down with me, just in case. There, not let it drip on top of the canvas page. Now, maybe let's try hitting it with some heat. So I actually have, let me see, some of this black. There. It no longer covered my silhouette. I pulled too much away. So there's that. Let me see. I still have a lot of black. maybe I can take another piece and pull it this way to, I wanted black near the face, but I think I must have added too much. So I can pull from the other direction. See if I can get any of the color to come through. There's a lot more color coming through. Sorry, this is kind of a process, guys. Crafty Jenn is much better equipped, or, you know, she's more familiar with this than I am. And I don't think I've done a swipe since the rainbow pour, which was, I don't know, like my third or fourth video. Holy cow. So we're gonna try again with a little bit less black. And they dripped right on top again. Okay. So if I go this way with some color. I feel like I'm just failing now. So the paint stir stick works pretty well. If you run out of paper towel like I have. Okay, so that actually turned out, using the heat gun, I was able to get so many more bubbles, and, or I guess by bubbles I mean cells, and a lot more color to show through. I think I had too much black. I was concerned that I wasn't going to have enough to like swipe over top, and then I think I just had too much. So it kind of ended up turning out more like a, I don't know, like a Dutch pour. I want the black color on the edges. So I will quick touch those up and use some of these colors that I wiped off. There's one edge. Just two edge. So it has like hardly any paint. And there's the last one. So I want to try, let me see if I can not get my hair in. I think I'm just moving paint around over there that I don't want. Hopefully you guys can see kind of what I'm looking at. Pretty sure it covers the whole face. And then there's my gorgeous hair. Kind of turned out a lot very different than what I thought. Like I said, I don't do very many swipes, apparently. Point where I put too much black, and when I pulled it over, then I didn't have any colors. So I remedied that by kind of using the heat gun to create cells, but also like flowing out the paint. It looks really cool to me. I do wish I had had more color, had more of the metallic colors show up, but that was my own fault. I put too much black to pull it over top. So it actually kind of ended up being more of a Dutch pour, blowing the colors out everywhere. But I'm hoping that once this is all dry, I will peel off the contact paper, and if I'm lucky, fingers crossed, it wouldn't have really bled underneath. That's what that tip, the Mod Podge along the end, is supposed to be for. At least for Crafty Jenn's videos, is to try to help prevent any leakage underneath. Mine was to really just kind of ensure that the contact paper stayed where it was supposed to. Once this is totally dry, we'll tune back in, and I'll show you guys the whole process of removing the contact paper.
Hi, cat.
Okay, guys, so most of the painting is done drying. I think I've still got like a little, you can see that little section there that's still wet. But I went ahead and took off the contact paper. It was not stuck down very hard. It came off fairly easily, but I did have a couple of leaks. I knew this spot right here, looking at the painting when it was mostly dry, I could see a little spot on the contact paper that had puckered up. So I knew I was going to have some kind of leakage, but if I go against the light, you can still see where the edge, like where the profile is supposed to be. So my plan is to I've got some silver, it's the same brand of paint. I'm going to put some silver, and I'm going to paint the white space with the silver, and I'm going to pay close attention to kind of clean up my profile along the edge so it looks nice and clean, and I don't have all of those kind of the areas where the paint went underneath the contact paper. And looking over on this side, some observations I'm making with the adding the glow pigment to the paint. It made the paint kind of chunky, so I've got a couple spots that are like not smooth, because of the glow pigment, but I'm still interested to see how the paint looks if it does indeed glow. And the metallic still shows up pretty well. I was kind of disappointed that the black sort of took over and I wasn't able to see as much of the color. But when this metallic paint dries, it kind of pops a little bit more. So I'm not as disappointed in how it looks now. And I'm hoping, like I said, that I can clean up the profile while I do the gray paint along the edges. We had a nice sunny day, so I thought I'd bring her outside so you guys could see. She's got one coat of gloss on her, and you can see just how cool all the metallics are in the sunlight, how much more they show up. Unfortunately, you can also see all the globs from the glow-in-the-dark paint. And you can kind of also see where some of the paint leaked underneath the contact paper. I tried to sand it down. I got a little rough with the canvas, so I would be cautious of that if you guys happen to get like big portions that the color leaks underneath. You can try to sand it down to make it a little bit more even, but mine didn't go quite as how I planned. So here's what she looks like in her full glory. I think she turned out pretty well for what I thought was a flop. I was a little disappointed with how much the black had taken over, but was able to fix her up well with the heat gun. So, alright, well thank you guys all for watching. You can see Cat begrudgingly in my window. But I hope you guys are all doing well, staying healthy. All of my links are down in the description box below. We got Instagram, Facebook, this channel, YouTube. We got PayPal as well. If you check out my Facebook page, we have some pieces for sale from other videos that I have done, so feel free to check those out, and I will see you all for my next video.